Oh, why did I make this so small? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you living? How you feeling? What's up? What's up? What's up? Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Y'all already know what it do. So let's get to it, y'all. Here we go. Let's play the intro. What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 bringing you another episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling? What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you, Denitria, for holding it down. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing all the links. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We haven't talked about the church beef sector in a minute. I kind of stayed away from it just because, like, what's weird about this whole lawsuit thing, right, is that I feel like it kind of died down. Like there was rumblings about an audio one day leaking or something like that, and nothing ever leaked. So I thought it was done and over with, not knowing that there was a lawsuit that was filed on the 10th of this month, which was interesting. So I had originally seen somebody comment on it, but I didn't actually, see the lawsuit until St. James had read it. Shout out to St. James. And no, I'm not, and no, I'm not listening to the lawsuit. Yesterday, St. James was like, "Oh, AT2, are you in here? Because I know you talked about it." No, I was not in there. They probably waiting on me, but no, I was not in there. No, not at all. What's interesting about this whole thing, and again, I'll do another show where I read off the lawsuit and debunk or say whatever, but I just kind of wanted a show where I can just ramble off my honest thoughts about it all. This situation, I kind of felt like initially when it was talked about, it was almost set up like Bishop Bernard Jordan was doing something illegal, as far as like there were some grooming allegations, but as time went on, it was all like, oh no, this was like a consensual relationship. This had nothing to do with grooming. And so just the kind of thought of it was positioned in a certain way that it was not. And it was kind of like, okay, something's up with that. So to take you guys back, there was some email from like a Calvin guy, right? Who said that he had these audios of Bishop Bernard Jordan and he was having an extramarital affair with a man or something like that, right? Well, not something like that. It was with a man, yeah. And it was these audios being shared and passed around. Well, as we understand, the audio was only listened to by a handful of people. One being, okay, Larry Reid. What's up, Angie? Larry Reid had it. Listen to it. Then Larry Reid played a part of it to Tyesse and William McRae at the Cheesecake Factory. Then William McRae played some of the audio on his channel, and he basically tried to out Justin Edwards and be like, see, it was Justin. He was on the recording, because remember, we didn't know who was on the recording. Let me take you back a little bit. St. James was the first one to put a name on it who had the recordings. It was this Justin Edwards guy, and it was kind of like, where'd he come from? Like, who's that? And, St. James was like, he knew this was the guy. Mind you, nobody had heard the audio, right? We didn't know. But somehow St. James knew this was the guy. Well, the Justin guy ends up hopping on his stream and was all like, I'm not the person. Like, I have nothing to do with this. I don't want to be a part of the drama. I don't know where you're getting this from, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, St. James apologized to him, had him on the stream to apologize publicly to him, and he did the right thing, right? Well, that's when William had played the audio where you can hear Justin's voice, and Justin is allegedly, talking about him and the bishop and stuff like that. And William put it out there like, oh, this is what this guy do. He's known for slinging D around, like some crazy shit, right? And so it's all like, And so then it was said like, oh, well, y'all don't know what the audio is. This was like Tyesse and Larry Reid. They're like, you guys haven't heard the audio. How do you know that's even the audio? Like, William know what he heard. And like, they try to play this game. Like, okay, what William was playing was not true. And it was like, okay, so William just made that up. Like, they're just randomly blaming this Justin guy, right? And it was like, now, how are they just randomly just blaming this Justin guy? So for a minute, it just seemed like it just kind of festered and like nothing really came from it. And then there was like more back and forth from Bishop Bernard Jordan and Larry Reid, and then Conscious TV got involved in it. And Conscious TV, got the email, because the email was sent to multiple people. No, I didn't get the email before somebody say, AT2, you got, no, I didn't. Yeah, because when your Tyesse came on my channel, it was like, AT2, did you get the, no, I did not. But anyway, Conscious TV was like, okay, well, let me see the email and let me get the recordings. And so Conscious TV, now he didn't say it was Justin, but he said, it was somebody on there who knew, like, was in their marital bed and knew how the layout of the home looked. So, he confirmed like, okay, he heard something, but he didn't say Justin Edwards. And it was like, everybody was jumping through hoops and they're like, well, who's this guy? Who's this man that was on the recording? Just to find out in the lawsuit that no, it was Justin Edwards that, was on the recording, and him and Bishop Bernard Jordan had a consensual, now they didn't say they were lovers, but it said a consensual relationship. It was consensual. So Bishop Bernard, according to the lawsuit, this is not me making it up, according to the lawsuit, they had a consensual relationship. Now, I don't know what the ramifications is going to be for, him stepping on his wife, or his wife even cares, or if his wife already knew, but I don't know if the whole thing was about outing Bishop Bernard Jordan. Like, that was the main thing. Because you still could have told the story like, oh, Bishop Bernard Jordan was talking to somebody about how he was going to take down Larry Reid. Like, you still could talk about the story in that way without like trying to out him. But of course, it makes it more salacious and stuff like that. And it was like, at the end of the day, I still feel in my heart. And, I don't have to say a prophecy to know this. I feel that Larry Reid and Bishop Bernard Jordan know dirt about each other. They know things about each other. Now, will they ever come out and tell us like, yeah, they know X, Y, and Z about each other? No, but they know each other's dirt. I'm not surprised. And especially, when my antennas went up, right? My antennas went up was when they had met at they didn't meet at the mall, but they seen each other at the mall and they embraced each other, and it was so much love and everything like that. And it's all like, I think content creators are hopping into this side or that side. And at the end of the day, they can just kick everybody to the curb and come back together. So it's like, I felt like content creators were picking sides and choosing whose side they wanted to be down with. But at the end of the day, I feel like all sides were being played. I feel that whether you're team Bishop Bernard Jordan, he playing you. Whether you're Larry Reid, he's playing you. Like everybody was kind of getting played. Now, I don't know if Tyesse will ever admit this, but based on some things that he was saying earlier on, before the lawsuit, he said like everybody just needs to basically back away from it and throw their hands up and be done with it, and he said you got to be ready for lawsuits, lawsuits that can come. He hinted at people can get in trouble for the things going on, and so it seemed like Tyesse was even throwing up his hands like, okay, well, I'm kind of out of here, I'm done with this, right? But even with that being said, he still ended up in the lawsuit, and reminds me of these late night miracle BET ads. Yeah, Miracle Water. What's his name? Peter Popoff. But anyway, but Tyesse seemed like he was kind of backing away from the situation, and and he even hinted that, oh well, did Larry when him and Larry had he don't call it a falling out. Remember, he came on my channel pretending like he didn't know what was going on, like no, there was no problem, no issue. Well, he was kind of saying like, well, I wasn't going to be the one out there to fall on the grenade and and stick my neck out there for you. There was nothing to talk about. He basically had washed his hands with it, but it seemed like Larry Reid wanted him to be out there talking about it and like defending him and saying what was on the audio and what was not, because Conscious TV was the one who dropped the bomb about there being an issue between Larry Reid and Tyesse report. And Tyesse was like hurt, even though he said that what did he say on my channel, y'all? He said he wasn't hurt, or he didn't feel no pain, he wasn't mad, or okay, whatever. Tyesse gaslighted the shit out of us. He was all like, ain't no issue, no problem at all. And it's like, well, you weren't mad or upset about? No, I wasn't. Not at all. And I was just all like, wait a minute, are you gaslighting us? Yeah, he gaslit us, but it's fine, and I get it. Like, that's your friend. You're not going to go on somebody else's channel and bash them. But obviously, if he did a live on it, he had an issue with it, Oh, not the better woman. Sit down like that. What's up, KJ? How you doing? And shout out to Clarinda, by the way. She cracked me up. Yeah, but it was all that kind of like that put like, oh well, it kind of wasn't really, and it was all like nobody was saying like what happened on the audio, like what the audio exactly said. The only person who actually gave us more information was Conscious TV. Like, he's the one who really woke it up, because I felt like even before he got involved, it was already dead. And then he started doing the interviews with the different people and stuff like that. And I think that really picked it up. But then there was this video that he did, like basically saying that, we're basically throwing our hands up. We're done. If you're done, you can come and apologize. Not knowing Bishop Bernard Jordan already got his lawyers on it. Now, I remember Bishop Bernard Jordan saying that he had his AI thing, and everybody who mentioned him, put him in the title or used him in the algorithm, his AI bots were able to find those channels and stuff like that. So I don't know if he compiled a list of like, okay, it's these content creators that have been talking about me saying this, or he used that, or the lawyer had to look all that information up. But either way, Bishop Bernard Jordan was all like, I ain't taking this shit laying down. I'm fighting back. And rightfully so. I can't just say, oh yeah, he should have just pretended like this didn't exist. Why would he do this? Blah, blah, blah. I think if anything, he should have took away the power. He should have took away the power. He should have just came out and been like, you know what? That was my nigga. I'm sorry. It's Sunday. Why am I cooking like that? Well, he should have said, hey, let me clear up the confusion real quick. Yes, I was having an extramarital affair. This my nigga. We was doing this, that, and that, and this. And you know what? I didn't want to tell everybody because I'm a bishop. It doesn't look good for me. This ruins my reputation. I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to my wife, my children, my dog, my cat. You know, I should have never got involved. You know, it was a moment of weakness, blah, 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 blah. He should have took the power away. I think him by letting this lingering on, and then he wants to put in a legal term like they had a consensual sexual relationship or whatever. It's in the lawsuit. Yours truly, Toya. It's in the lawsuit. It said they had a consensual relationship. Again, I'll do another show where I bring up the lawsuit and all that stuff. I just kind of want to give you guys my thoughts. But for me, I felt like he should have just said, yeah, this was my nigga. And, you know, we did what we did. And, you know, we had a time. Now that, you know, it's over. And now this fool want to try to expose me and do all this stuff. All right. Well, nice try, because I exposed myself. Da 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 da. You know, this is what it was. You know, God forgive me. Then he do a hymn, a prayer, and you know, he starts crying, and then boom, this would have been done with. Yes, and money, honey, and that's the other thing too. It's more than it was. I tell y'all crack me up. Y'all trying to get me in the lawsuit, damn it. Anyway, you know, it was the recording because legally, one person in Chicago, one person in New York, Atlanta, New Jersey, you know, all these different states. I know New York and New Jersey, it's a two-party, so both people need to consent. And what they're alleging in the lawsuit, this part we don't know, but what they're alleging in the lawsuit is that Bishop Bernard Jordan was on the phone with Justin and was unaware that Larry was on the other end recording on another. Like, I'm like, whoa. Again, these are the factual allegations that Larry was recording the call and all this other shit. And it's all like, and then I'm also confused too. And this is why I'm going to do another show about the dates. This says like this was on a call in November 2025. And I'm all like, wait, so this just happened in November? You know, like I thought this was something like, oh, these calls were from like years ago or something like that. And now it's just coming to the light. No, from what I've seen, it seemed like this was recent. So that was another confusing thing because it's all like, okay, because the allegation was that he was trying to say that Larry was going to destroy or take down Larry Reid, right? So this was after the falling out. So the recording had to be from 2025. I think it's recording nothing more because he says it was consensual. Yeah, he said it was consensual. Oh, and also, this is where the defamation is coming from because he's claiming like CTV and Mad Church Disease were defaming him. Now, one thing Conscious TV did 2 interviews with people that were formerly in his ministry. So Conscious TV can't really be held responsible for that. Like, yeah, he platformed them, but he's not making the allegations. He interviewed the person, right? Or interviewed the people. And then with Mad Church Disease, now with CTV, it had timestamps. With Mad Church Disease, his part, it didn't have any timestamps. He's saying like Mad Church Disease or Marcellus was saying this and that. And it's all like, well, do you have proof of that? Or like you just assuming, you know? And it didn't seem like he had any proof because he didn't have any timestamps for Marcellus. So it's all like, okay, well, where did he get that from? And mind you, and like I said, this is why I'm going to have to do another show and really go into detail. Remember when Marcellus had outed Larry Reid, well, talked about Larry Reid, you know, switching his business and putting it in somebody else's name, right? That same show, Manasseh sent him a super chat for $100. So it would seem like, okay, well, there was nothing that Marcellus did wrong, because why would your son then super chat him? But you put him in the lawsuit? I don't know about that. Yeah. He did. St. James gave the timestamps of when. Oh, he did put. Okay, I must have missed that part. Okay, sorry, Alex. I know for CTV there was timestamps, but it was a long video too. But I'll go back and look. But either way, I know Marcellus didn't talk about the nephew situation. Like, I wasn't touching that. Like, for me, the nephew situation. There's like a few other things that they mentioned and brought up, and yeah, I was all like, that's not something like Marcellus would do or he would say. So I'll have to exactly look at it again. Like I said, I'm pretty sure y'all bored looking at the lawsuit because everybody else and their mama bringing up the lawsuit. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna wait. But these are just my thoughts and opinions. This is an open space for y'all to be as open and honest and transparent as y'all want to about the situation without being judged. Because you can't go on the other channels and speak your mind freely. So you got to come over here. CTV did make slanderous statements, but I don't see why anyone else is at it. Maybe damage control. I do think that it's about the damage control. I think it's basically like, let me put all these people in a lawsuit and shut them up. But something that's funny is that why wasn't William McRae? Now, it did say something about defended William McRae, but William McRae wasn't listed, Did y'all find that was weird? But then I'm all like, is it really weird? Because technically we know that William McRae and Bishop Bernard Jordan, they have a close relationship, right? I know, right? I got put in timeout just for saying Corey Epstein. Wait, who's Corey Epstein? I know who Epstein is, but who's Corey? Y'all crazy. I think people inserted themselves unnecessarily. Man, Church Disease don't like Bishop. I knew he was going to jump on it. But Matt, Church Disease, I mean, everybody talked about it, right? Are you going to put everybody in the lawsuit? Oh, Corey Holcomb. Okay, got you. Are you going to put everybody in the lawsuit? Let me not give them. Let me set up my GoFundMe. Hold on, where's my phone? Let me set up my GoFundMe. Shit. Damn, they out here suing a nigga. Shit. Y'all see the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Y'all can donate right there. Shit. But anyway, what's up, Jackie? But on a serious note, everybody talked about it, And everybody talked about the allegations that were put out there. It wasn't like people were, at least from a commentary standpoint, I'll just speak for myself. Like, the information that I had was based on what was put out in the public. I wasn't in communication with nobody. Believe it or not, the black church sector, the beef church sector, not too many of them really rock with me, like they don't really like me that much. So I wouldn't be a part of like no back end deals and like, working on stuff behind the scenes. Yeah, that's not me. But I do feel in a way, yeah, I do feel that way. Let me even go a little bit further. I feel that Marcellus and Tyesse should not be in it. Because Tyesse really tiptoed around really talking about it. Tyesse was trying to discourage people. And, remember he was talking about lawsuits and he was like, y'all, we don't want no lawsuits and, all that. So I feel like, he even tried to discourage it. But at the same time, he did hear the audio. So I think that's really what turned it out, made it bad for him, was that he actually did listen to the audio. I think, first of all, if you listen to the audio or pass it around or you was a part of it, because basically this case is done as a RICO is one of the charges that they're trying to get people with, like basically trying to be in what they call concert. Because I was like, I didn't know what concert was. Well, I know what a concert is, but I didn't know that terminology in the legal standpoint. But remember, 50 Cent said I was in concert with his baby mama, and that wasn't true. But that word can be used so loosely too, Let me tell you the definition. Hold on. Now, AT2, be careful before you. Listen, Clorinda, St. James was trying to get me sued because he's like, AT2, you in here? Watch, Bishop Bernard Jordan probably goes on like, oh, he probably looked at that video and was like, oh yeah, we need to add AT2. Don't put no bad juju on me. Shit, we're just making commentary. What does concert mean in legal terms? In legal terms, acting in concert refers to two or more parties knowingly coordinating their action plans or efforts to achieve a common goal or unlawful objective. It implies a shared mutual understanding or agreement, whether formal or informal, where participants are often jointly liable for actions taken by others in a group. So this is what Bishop Bernard Jordan is trying to explain. So I see why Tyesse was put in it. But again, he was one of the people who really tiptoed talking around it. I think it even probably got to a point where, hold on, am I getting sued? Is that why I'm getting all these? Okay, this is something else. Okay. I was like, somebody, I was like, hey, don't do it. But again, the concert thing is trying to say that they were in some kind of alliance or agreement. And again, it doesn't have to be legally. It doesn't have to be formal. It can be informal. And I think that email is a way of them showing that this was kind of like an informal. Ooh, AT2. Listen, I need to go to law school right now. Who want to hire me as a lawyer? But I really think people who receive the email or audio, because again, I want to, let's be clear. As I understand, William McCrae, Tyesse, and Marcellus, they did not receive the audio with their email. They did not receive the audio, but they received the email talking about it. So I think that's something that they're trying to prove with the whole them being in concert with each other. But again, that's hard to prove. That first of all, I can see the other people, like when it comes to Larry, like I can see, Tyesse, CTV, William McCrae, this person, that person being in concert, if you want to say that. But Matt Church Disease, like they don't like him. So how would he be in concert with them? You know what I mean? That part doesn't make any sense. So again, that would be hard to prove. And maybe this is a thing where like, I know this is kind of like a legal strategy too. What usually you do is list everybody and their mama, but then as time goes on, you start taking names out and start, dismissing certain people. Once you get the information you want, or once you find out more information, you start taking out people. And I think what's going to end up happening is that they're just going to leave it to the main people, A scare tactic. Yeah, definitely a scare tactic. Yeah. They put everybody in there, but sooner or later they'll start dismissing everyone, and then it'll just be, the main people. That's what I honestly think. But all in all, I wanted to also say this too. St. James is owed an apology because, you know, I even said, like, damn, St. James went out on a limb because he was probably told by Bishop Bernard Jordan that this was the guy. He went out there and said it publicly, and now he's being made to look like a fool. Well, egg on our faces because St. James didn't lie. That was the guy. And before this live, you guys, now St. James took down the original live, but there was another live that he did where he came on and Justin and he apologized. Every time Justin was lying, he was looking past the camera. He was like, yeah, so, you know, we go, he was looking past the camera. When he was telling the truth, he would look at the camera. When he was lying, he looked past the camera. I'm very good at body language, y'all. I'm very good with body language. Who sent the email to the Larry Reid? Hold on, yours truly is here. Allegedly. Thank you. Shout out to yours truly. She's like, AT2, allegedly. Trust me. If they're going to do something, they're going to do something because, you know, it is what it is. I'm not too worried. Because a lot of people think if you say allegedly, it absolves you. You can still get sued for saying allegedly. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. Now, you can use that as a defense and like, oh, well, I said that this is what I heard. Or this, you know, usually I say like, this is what I seen. This is what I heard. You know, I say that because I hate when somebody say like, yeah, your mama was a hoe, allegedly. Just because you said allegedly doesn't change the fact that you call my mama a hoe. You know what I mean? You know, that's the thing. They be like, allegedly. And I'm be like, oh my God, if you don't stop fucking saying allegedly, like if you got to say allegedly after every sentence, that means that you should not be talking about whatever you're talking about. That's just how I feel. How do y'all feel about the word allegedly, y'all? Do y'all like when they be allegedly? I'm like, oh my God, if you say allegedly one more damn time. Yeah, all them damn allegedly. I'll be like, yeah, allegedly. Okay. Oh, no, you don't mind it? Oh, okay. Well, he should be the only one in the lawsuit. I don't mind. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm the only person that gets on my nerves. Okay. Allegedly. I'm just kidding. But anyway, St. James is definitely owed an apology because he was made to look like he was crazy and he was jumping on the grenade for Bishop Bernard Jordan just to come to find out like he was telling the truth. But also this too. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it here. Let's do a 30-second countdown, you guys, before I say this statement. Put your kids to bed real quick. 30-second countdown. You put them to bed or are they out the room? All right, 1, 2, 3, here we go. Bishop Bernard Jordan know who he was fucking. So out of everybody, he would have the best inclination of like, oh, this is who it is on the recording. Now let me out there fooling everybody. You know, he know who he was fucking. So yeah, the information that St. James had, yeah, it was true. You know, assuming that, you know, Bishop Bernard Jordan was the person who told St. James, like, oh, it's this guy who was on the recording, you know. So again, he knew he was yeah. Because the more you say allegedly, the more it starts to sound like a lie. Yeah, see? Chanel. Is it Chanel or is it Chanel? Chanel, that's what I mean. Like, if you have to say allegedly, 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 then okay, are you lying about it? Like, shit, you have to be confident when you out here speaking. Oh yeah, let's talk about the meetup real quick. So yes, don't forget April 10th through the 12th, we are meeting up in Vegas. I can't wait to meet you guys. Make sure you guys went ahead and booked your hotel, booked your rooms already. I just booked mine the other day because I thought I had already booked it. Make sure you bring your own money. Don't forget day one, we're going to Area 15. We're meeting up at 7 p.m. at Area 15. Then the next day, we are going to go to the art museum and we are going to take a ride in the limousine at nighttime around the strip, the Vegas sign, and on Fremont Street where all the freaks are at. So we're going to have a good time. And Sunday, I still don't have a plan for Sunday. We're going to work that out. But Sunday, it's going to be something because I know people probably aren't leaving until later that night. So definitely in the morning time. But I want to see who's staying the whole 3 days before we say what we're doing on Sunday. But it's going to be a good time. Oh, and we got to pick some restaurants too, you guys. We got to pick some restaurants and stuff where we want to eat. Anywhere with crab legs, Hey, there's something to eat on no crab legs. Damn, you got to tell people to bring their own. Yes, Jazz. It's important, And here's the thing. Because you know how AT2 just became rich, a few months ago? People think I got it like that to where I can pay for everybody. And I probably could, but no, that's not how we got. I'm trying to buy me a piece of property this year, I'm trying to buy me, a house, even though they say, oh, you live in your uncle's house, you can't afford a house, you can't do this, you can't do that. Trust me, I'm going to prove them wrong. Everybody who say I can't, I'm going to show you I can. Bet that. Anyway, that's a shame. No, it's just I don't want to say it's just a joke. I am being funny, but I'm serious too. Like, no, if you ain't got no money to take your broke ass home, shit, we ain't got time for all that. Like, oh, I don't have it. Oh, you don't have it. Why'd you come? You got it for AT2 and no one else. Yeah. Right. But again, you guys, my thing with this whole situation is that I think this should have been handled between Larry and Jordan. Larry and Jordan, they should have handled this on their own. I feel like both those people got all these content creators involved fighting. And here's the thing, they preach about like how, oh, you guys don't need to be fighting and y'all need to come together. But yet the reason why everybody is fighting is because of you guys. Every battle in the church B sector has something to do with those two individuals. I mean, it's not a lie. And well, hold on. Let me change that. Most of the issues are rooted in this beef between if you're Team Jordan or Team Reid. Like most of the issues, I'll say that. There's some involvement with it, and I just don't like that. I feel like these content creators are all talented. I feel like they could be out here getting money together. They could be out here actually spreading the word. Like shout out to somebody who always does the work. And I did not know they were going live at the same time as me. And I feel so bad about it. Juice Radio and Talk Show. I love Juice. She's out here doing the work. Like if there's anybody who say like, oh, well, is there any good people in the church peace sector? Juice. That's number one. Even though Miss Cruiser is the queen of the church V sector because she be getting it popping on her channel. She be having all the content creators over there and shit like that. And she's like a neutral party. So I got to give credit to Miss Cruiser. Her coming from the original B sector into the church B sector, she made the perfect transition. I appreciate her. Yes, I love Regina. Yeah. It's so funny because I just call her Juice because I figure like, there's so many content creators who are like leery about giving their real name. So I just call her Juice, even though that's the name of the podcast or the show technically. But I call her Juice, because so many people are worried about saying their real name. So, it's just easy. Yeah, shout out to Juice. We love her over here, right? Yeah, Miss Cruiser is funny. That lady is off the hook. I would have loved to been following her when she was out dragging people and terrorizing people. I would have loved to have followed her then. So, but everything works for a reason because if I followed her then, we would probably end up beefing. So, it's the perfect timing now. Everything happens for a reason. Um, yeah, she does. Yeah. Catching up. Oh, make sure you guys hit the like button. I always forget to remind you guys of that. Let me put that up right here. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the show right here. I didn't want to keep you guys too long. Like I said, I'll do another show going through the lawsuit and this and that and picking and poking at it. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick show on just my thoughts and give y'all the space to be open about whatever you guys thought about it. I love y'all for watching. Thank y'all for always showing me so much love and support. Hey, Kay, I appreciate y'all, but we out of here. Deuces, everybody. Oh, yeah, and also hype the video, too. Thank you.